Ethan and Ela Klein are a married couple who co-founded the YouTube channel H3H3 Productions together. H3H3 used to be a very successful and very beloved channel. During what most people would consider their golden era, most of their videos were reactions and commentaries on many different topics and people. I won't go into too much detail here, but at one point they were sued in a lawsuit involving fair use. The popular opinion was that they were being sued unfairly. Another YouTuber, Philip DeFranco, started a fundraiser to help pay for their legal fees. Many YouTubers band together to donate and spread awareness. Even some people who have previously had beef with the couple chipped in. The fundraiser hit over $100,000 in just one day. H3 even donated $5,000 of their own money, and said that once their lawsuit was over, they wanted to use the leftover money to help other creators who are also being wrongfully sued for copyright. After a long legal battle, they ultimately came out on top. People not only saw this as a win for H3H3, but a win for YouTube as a whole, as it determined how fair use would be defined on the platform. During that whole fiasco, the two started uploading less and less on their main channel, and instead started focusing more on their podcast. Eventually, their podcast took over as their main form of content. They haven't even uploaded to their original main channel in over 2 years. Their podcast channel was and is still very successful. However, due to the unfiltered nature of podcasts, people started to view them in a different light.
Our Neanderthal cousins were probably just like crazy. So there's definitely something like in us to like conquer. Men want to like conquer.
Right.
So it's, you know, women are in a nature setting like to be conquered.
They've since been in many different controversies. Some started on their podcast, some in different videos, and there's even drama surrounding their clothing brand Teddy Fresh. Nowadays, they're definitely considered more controversial creators on YouTube. Personally, I don't think they're anywhere near the worst of the worst that YouTube has to offer, but I do think a lot of the criticisms about them are warranted. I could go into much more detail about the two and about their YouTube careers, but that's just not what I'm here to do today, and there's already so many videos that cover this exact topic. So instead, what I want to cover is their very weird relationship with video games. In 2018, they worked together with Outerminds to create their very own mobile game. However, we'll talk about that later, as that's not the weird part of this video. Many YouTubers already have their own mobile games, but what most YouTubers don't have is their own DLC in Payday 2. Payday 2 is a 4-person co-op shooter where you work together to pull off many different types of heists. And Ethan and Ela are two YouTubers. They're not even YouTubers who play Payday 2 on their channel, or even have a gaming channel to begin with. So why are they in the game, you ask? Well, according to the lore, Ethan is proof that you can never really know what's going on inside Bane's head. For context, Bane is the contractor of all the heists in the game. His skills in public relations and engagement attracted the interest of Bane, who convinced him and his wife Hela to join the Payday gang with the promises of restitution, fortune, and glory. Rumor has it that Hela underwent extreme training in the Israel military, and while she keeps denying it publicly, something definitely caught Bane's attention when he asked her and Ethan to join the gang. But in reality, their inclusion started April 1st, 2017, as a very random and goofy April Fool's joke by Overkill, the company who made Payday 2. This wasn't the first time they've done a joke like this for April Fools, but it was certainly the first time their joke became a reality. It released on November 22nd, 2017 for $4.99. None of the revenue from this DLC goes to Overkill but to H3H3. The goal was to help pay for their legal fees regarding their copyright lawsuit. I'm not sure why Overkill had a specific interest in H3H3 to begin with, but hey, I'm not here to argue. This ended up being a very charitable DLC. However, the majority of the Payday 2 community did not seem to be thrilled about this. On Steam, the reviews are mixed. Most of the positive reviews seem to be from H3 fans, people reviewing it as a joke, and people happy with the funds going to help them. A good amount of positive reviews also start with a statement like, "Let's ignore the fact that H3H3 are in this pack," and then proceed to rate the DLC positively for other features. And people seem to dislike this DLC because it's fucking weird. The models are ugly, the voice acting is bad, and I mean obviously some people don't like the couple for one reason or another. So let's break down these reasons. To start, it's obvious why the two just don't belong in a game like this. It's incredibly random. They're two former commentary and react YouTubers who now exclusively podcast in their mid-30s. Why the hell are they in a game about heists? Aside from maybe people who just don't like the two, I don't think anyone's complaining about where the money is going, but I do think it's a fair argument to say that these two could ruin the integrity of the game. game, for one reason or another. I mean, their real life backstories as YouTubers are in the game, and their special perk that they come with is literally a vape.
Vape Nation!
With that being said, I am no Payday 2 expert, so I don't know if there's other weird DLC characters, but this one in specific did rile up the fanbase a bit. Regardless, I mean, just look at them. Not only are the models ugly in general, but Ethan is purposely made to look stupid with his tight clothes and double chin. Don't get me wrong, it's very on brand for Ethan. They even gave his custom mask a beanie. But at the end of the day, his model is a complete meme. And Hila's model literally just doesn't even look like her at all. There's a vague resemblance there at best. In their announcement video, Ethan even agrees that Hila's model does not look good.
Let me get a look at you.
Give me a yell.
Man, I gotta tell you. They weren't too kind on me, I gotta be honest. Weren't super kind.
And now don't get me wrong, I'm not saying there can't be meme characters or cosmetics in this game. I mean, I have a chicken mask for crying out loud. So when you take the memes aside, these models are still just ugly. Now let's talk about their voice lines.
Honestly, since we've been doing the voiceover, Hila's been scaring the shit out of me. You can see how she's dressed here. I'm always walking on eggshells. Listen to this.
Fuck you! They better fear Hila! Kill these assholes! Die, assholes! Just kill the fucks! I'll pop their asses! I care, and I kill.
I feel like that sums up Hila's voice lines pretty well. Hila has a more monotone and laid back way of speaking in general, and there's nothing wrong with that, of course. It just doesn't lend itself to being a natural when it comes to voice acting, especially when there's very violent and expressive lines.
It kinda came out like a question, like, fuck you? Or not.
They talked about how she had voice acting lessons, and I'm sure over time she got better, but at the end of the day, I think her lack of experience clearly shines through in the end result.
A quiet hostage is a survivor, remember that?
Now onto Ethan's lines.
We may be in Washington, but England will always be my city. I feel like Shrek, and you're in my swamp! Watch out, bitch, it's evil, Ethan! Don't get Bradbury! Don't forget to subscribe, bitch! You can't take me out, I'll dab on the devil!
Not that this feels super professional or anything, but I feel like Ethan at least has more expression in his lines, and they don't sound as forced. But now there's a blatant problem of how unfunny these are. Feel free to disagree with me, and maybe I'm on the outs on this one, but Shrek jokes have not been funny since 2015. Hey, I still like the movies, but oh my god, the internet has been oversaturated with Shrek memes for almost a decade now. And if you're a Payday 2 fan, well, you might just be forced to listen to more Shrek jokes while you play the game. By the way, it's not just Ethan's lines. Hila has her fair share of meme lines too.
Hey, has Ethan asked you for a pizza already?
To be fair, the comedy is aligned with H3's typical comedy, and I do think some of the lines are funny.
Hey, Control, I think we should be looking out for Humongous. I heard he's in the area, so keep a close eye.
But personally, I think there's more unfunny than funny lines in the game. And with the more amateur voice acting, I don't feel like it fits well in Payday 2. And given the reception, I don't think I'm alone with feeling this way. That's all I have to say on their Payday 2 DLC. They feel out of place in concept and execution. They don't have the best voiceovers, but do in fact have the ugliest models. And the couple essentially admitted to agreeing with both of those things in their reveal video.
It kinda came out like a question, like, fuck you? Or not?
They weren't too kind on me, I gotta be honest. Weren't super kind.
Now let's move on to their very own mobile game, H3H3 Ball Rider. The game is made by Outer Minds, the same team that made Tuber Simulator, Legend of the Brofist, and Pixelings. Speaking of Outer Minds, one of their co-founders actually commented on my Pixeling videos with a really cool message, which is of course always awesome to see, so I really want to show them some love here real quick. So far I've enjoyed 2 out of 3 of the games that I've played by them, and for the one I didn't like, I could really tell how much love and care they put into the game, and don't think I didn't see that cheeky little promotion you snuck in that comment. But jokes aside, they do seem like a passionate team and I look forward to their future releases. So with that being said, how well did they do with H3H3 Ball Rider?
Introducing H3H3 Productions' first mobile game, H3 Ball Rider. Play as the heroic Hila Klein as she mounts Ethan's voluptuous fupa and controls his sweat to victory.
The first thing I noticed was how just vibey the game is aesthetically. From the art, to the music, to the narrations, this game is a vibe. Which is impressive given the game is about Hila riding Ethan as a ball who is being propelled by sweat. And I will say the vibes also align with our clothing company, Teddy Fresh. Theming wise, that's obviously perfect, so right now they're getting bonus points.
Ugh, where are we? Why am I so thick?
sick and sweaty.
I think this goes to show how to handle Ethan and Hila in a game properly, unlike what Payday 2 did. So anyway, we're off to a great start. Let's get into the gameplay. You hold down with your right thumb to make Ethan move, or sweat, and your left thumb controls Hila, who acts as a directional pointer. In the tutorial levels, your goal is to make it to the end of each level before the time runs out. But after the tutorial, the levels are endless, and the goal is to make it as far as you can before the time runs out. And once it does run out, you can jump a few times to gain some distance with Hila. If you pass through a checkpoint as Hila, Ethan will actually come back and you can keep going. There's these green orbs you can collect throughout the levels to give you more time. There's of course many obstacles to play around, power-ups to help out, and chests to collect. Chests are not only a pun, but they introduce an idle side of the game. I will say the idle side is not intrusive at all. It just gives you cosmetics, money, and power-ups. It's nothing mandatory, which I always appreciate. There's a generous amount of cosmetics and power-ups in the game. There's 8 worlds in total, and you gradually unlock them as you play more. I haven't unlocked them all yet, as I'd have to play for a good while to do so, but for the ones I have played, I would say there's a decent amount of variety to each level, and the theme changes are always refreshing. There's also 2 races you can compete in at any given time, assuming you have the tickets of course. This is just an extra mode where you can race against other people. It's nothing crazy, but a nice touch. So overall, how do I feel about the game? Honestly, it's pretty fun. The movement is very fluid and the levels give you a lot to work with. I could feel myself getting better and better at the game the more I played, and I would be lying if I said this game wasn't addictive. Between the music, the vibes, the levels, the customization, the fluid gameplay, and the subtle humor, I don't have much to complain about. I guess my biggest complaint would be the fact that you have to be level 35 to unlock every single level, and I just don't think this game will hold up long enough for me to unlock it. With that being said, the 2 races will put you in worlds you haven't unlocked yet, so even if you don't get to level 35, I'm pretty sure you should still be able to at least play every level, but with the downside of races not being endless. I don't think there's much more to dive into about this game, which makes sense as it's just a simplistic mobile game, a fun one at that. If what you've seen looks fun, then I would 100% recommend this game. Even if you're not an H3 fan, you can still easily have fun here. And if you are an H3 fan, you'll get even more out of the game. I was never a diehard H3 fan or anything like that, but even I was able to notice some references. So yeah, if you want, go check out the game, it's pretty solid. If you didn't know, this video is part of a series where I'm taking a look at every single video game made by a YouTuber. I've already covered games from PewDiePie, Tobuscus, Morgs, and even Mr. Beast, so check out the playlist if you want to see those reviews. But for now, thank you for watching and I hope you all have a fantastic Tuesday.
I'm on the verge of a heat stroke, feeling a little tired, a little dehydrated. I think I'm gonna take a nap. Everyone, have fun and enjoy. I'll see you on the other side of life.